Welcome to Secura Law Experience. Here, Luis Elizalde, founder of Secura Law, and I'm here with
Stephanie de la Millar.
And Eduardo Borgar.
Now, today is an episode that is the continue of the last one that we spoke about the accounting of the corporations or the accounting in general. But something is different right now. Finally, we have our guest after 1 minute in video, 2 weeks reality. We have our amazing accountant, Manuel Ávila.
Hello, my name is Manuel Ávila.
Awesome.
Thank you for
invite
here.
you. Yeah, no, thank you for coming. Finally. Now, the idea of this podcast is to speak a little bit about the accounting with a specialist. You are the specialist right now. You have a lot of experience, more than, I can say 20 years, 25 years?
Yeah, 25 years now. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, a lot. Whoa. Yeah,
Yes,
a lot of experience.
No.
20 years, it's a lot.
So fast.
Yeah, a quarter of
100 years.
Yeah, whoa. Yeah, that's nice. That's good. And it's a really good experience. That's the idea of the podcast. That's the reason of Secura Law Experience. The last time I think we were talking about the corporations. How is the accounting, or where we're talking about exactly?
Specifically, we were talking about the different ways that a foreigner can purchase and use a corporation.
Okay.
Because we were saying that depending on the specific scenario, it's going to be a good idea or not because of the expenses that they could use, like the powers of attorney that they could get if they become residents and get tax IDs here. Like, it's a whole constellation of options, right?
Let's ask Manuel. What do you think about that? About the foreigners acquire a property through a corporation?
Well, yeah, it really depends of the idea to the invest here in Mexico. I always tell any investment the idea do they have that we need to put it in paper as a business plan, as a business project.
Yeah, totally.
In order to see after they
Bye.
Purchase.
to see exactly what's the best way to make this better, no? But
So the idea, for example, normally that we something said to the client, if you're gonna invest in one property, not make sense to get a corporation. But if you're gonna invest in 3 properties that they're gonna generate some income and through rents, makes sense to have a corporation.
right. Yeah.
But it's hard to have a corporation or to have the accounting of, for example, let's make it simple.
Yeah.
You have 3 properties, or the client have 3 properties. They're going to rent the 3 properties. They're going to have income, go directly to the bank account of the corporation. What is next about the accounting of that?
Well, as soon they're gonna be 3 properties, it's gonna be a business, no? They're gonna rent it and make some business here in Mexico. So yeah, the best way is create a corporation and start the process, as many places in the world, to has his income and his expenses. The expenses here in Mexico is a general rule that must to be very, very specific to help you to make your
Object, right?
to object here in Mexico, so the business object. So everything that is help you to the corporation is deductible, but of course has some rules to make these expenses deductibles. The factura, no, the
invoice.
The invoice is not just an invoice. They have his rules to make this deductible.
May I? Sorry to interrupt you, but this is very, very normal that our clients do normally, is that they pay with their own credit card. Then they request the factura, and they know, of course, or I'm not sure, for example, Home Depot, they're going to say, okay, I pay with my credit card at my name, but I want the factura at the name of the corporation.
Yes.
That's deductible?
Yes, it's deductible.
And how can they get that expenses from?
In that moment that he or she used his credit card, the corporations owes money to her. So
Okay. Debt.
when they come to the corporation and say, hey, I pay this for you, for the company needs to pay him back that amount to the owner or the shareholder.
And how we need like proof of that? Of course, we have the statement of the credit card, maybe.
Right? Yes.
We have to provide that to the corporation, or they have to provide or give a copy, or the SAT.
Right. Yeah. It's better to have more copies on everything. So it's the best way to keep the ticket when you sign when the corporation pay, it's really, really important to make that payment to that account, to the credit card account.
Oh, okay. It cannot be to him directly, like, okay, I have another account
Savings
in another
account
Yeah, exactly.
or
It has to be to the
It's
credit
the
card.
best way to do it, yes.
Okay. That's something that normally our clients, they don't understand that, because first the factura, then the proof of everything, because we need hard copies, or could be digital everything.
Yeah.
Digital?
is fine,
Okay.
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
The main problem that I see sometimes with clients is that they are aware of the knowledge that they need to request an invoice, but they don't know how to do it. Because
Exactly.
100% of the time they just get an invoice to public in general.
Yeah, I know.
It's not useful for us. So it's very important for them to first get the RFC. Well, in a timeline, you first get the residency, then you get your social security number here, and then you get your tax ID. And after all those three are done, now you can request a usable invoice at your service provider. The best way is to do it directly to the corporation if you don't have any of that. But if not, you pay it with your credit card. You can do it to yourself, and that can be used that way also, right?
Yeah.
I mean, usually the rule of thumb that I get, speaking about deductions, is whenever I see a client that wants to purchase a lot, that's a good idea to get a corporation, because if I'm not mistaken, 100% of the construction is deductible, right?
Right.
So most of the times they are really aware of these kind of things. So that's why they always have in their mind like the idea to, no, I want a corporation because I want to build something. So that could be useful.
But that factura that they need, for example, they hire someone to build.
Mm-hmm.
The factura has to be to public general, I don't know. Or
In the case
To the
that
corporation,
it's
right?
not a corporation, right?
no. In the case of the corporation, they go with the builder, and they say the builder is gonna charge, I don't know, 200,000 US.
Uh-huh.
Okay, they pay directly to him, and he has to give a factura.
Right.
That factura, what is the most important?
Requirements.
Yeah, so it's deductible, and we don't have problems in the future, or they don't have problems in the future.
Yeah, well, the most important is be sure that the invoices of factura is the same account you send the money. I mean, if constructor X
Mm-hmm.
make the invoice or the factura,
Mm-hmm.
be sure that the account we're going to deposit is the same in the same.
Okay.
The same.
The first
That's the rules. Yeah.
Okay. And what else we have to look in the factura to be sure that this is good for us or for the client?
Well, must to be electronic factura.
Mm-hmm.
Has some, I have no an example of that, but yeah, it has a cadena digital. It has many numbers and signs in the bottom of the paper, and a QR
Okay.
Code. Oh.
code. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the concept of the invoice, it's special. It should be something or
Construction. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, construction.
It has to say construction and maybe the legal description of the unit or the location of the lot.
Location of the lot. Correct. Yes.
Okay.
And of course, must to be a contract between after the factura.
Okay.
Must to be a contract for.
One question, and we already have this conversation last Tuesday, I think. What about IVA if they are building a house?
Yeah.
because it's a service. The builder is a
It's providing a service.
So he has to charge IVA. But at the end,
in the case of the houses, if the constructors provide you the materials and mano de obra, labor and materials, they're not gonna include IVA in his factura.
In not?
No.
Okay.
So it's without IVA.
Okay.
That's good to know.
Yes. Yeah. If they mention that they are providing the resources and the workers.
Yeah.
It has to be specified in the contract.
Correct.
I imagine.
And the most important is going to be a house, not a
residential. Has to be residential, no commercial. In commercial, totally different story.
Yes. But and the license has to make sense, no? Because you can support with that, with the construction license.
Yeah.
And the finish of the construction work, it also has to say that it's for residential purposes only.
Correct.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Yes.
That's good.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a lot of questions regarding how the Airbnb income is getting taxed. Actually, I told you that I had a client that actually got taxed twice. The Airbnb platform was charging the income tax here and the IVA, the VAT, and they were also charging the income tax in the US.
Yeah,
How come?
Yeah, it's
IVA here and IVA there, or
income tax here and income tax there.
But both, like the same percentage, or it's the 30% here?
No, it was
and
the entire percentage. The 20% here and 24% there.
Okay. I think it's sorry, you answer.
No. Yeah, the platforms, if the client has no tax number here in Mexico, they're gonna retain that money, no, the IVA and the certain percent. But of course, when the money arrives in the United States, I think it's the United States. This income, it's gonna be part of all his global income. So they must to show to his accountant in United States or other countries this retention from Airbnb here in Mexico in order to not pay the double tributation.
But I know about the treat that, for example, this client, I don't know, I'm just talking, thinking out loud, that this client is, for example, from LA, from California. In California, one of the highest taxes about the income tax. We're talking about maybe could be 44%. So is Airbnb in Mexico retaining only 20% for the IRS on Mexico, and in California it's 44%. Because of the treat, they cannot charge again 44%. They have to charge the difference that there's the other 24%. So the treat is good because they are paying taxes here, and the difference, because it has to be here only 20% or could be 30%, they are charging in the US, or they are retaining that.
The difference.
I think it's one way, not because of Airbnb. I think it's one way of the government to get that money, you know?
Yes.
So,
yes, but I totally agree that the ones that are pursuing that are the governments.
Exactly.
Actually, Airbnb so far haven't been able to provide a certain response regarding why they are charging the two taxes of both countries, you know? They haven't.
It has to be something like that. But I think.
Yes.
This 24%, it was retained from Airbnb? No.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Oh.
Yeah, they have the obligation to retain the taxes, but something that
42% in total.
In total, yeah.
Wow.
For the income, yes.
But
it's bad.
I'm thinking that, do you think it's really bad that they are doing that? Of course, because they are taking your money or stealing, or no, it's not stealing because it's taxes. but but at the end, it's good because they don't have headache. They don't have to hire no one to make that calculation. They retain and pay. But the thing is that, for example, everybody said to them, "Hey, no worries. If you get your tax ID and send it to Airbnb, they're not gonna retain anything, and you don't have to pay anything." Not make sense.
No.
Because at the end they have to pay the taxes.
Yeah, right.
But it's gonna be the same percentage, or they can do something.
They retain the Airbnb is gonna retain less when you have a tax ID here in Mexico.
Okay.
But you need, of course, make the accounting in Mexico for that units. So at the end, if you have deductions, yeah, you can pay less. But if not, maybe you can pay more.
And that could be fines because they are thinking that someone told them, no, you're not. As soon as you have your tax ID, you don't have to pay taxes because Airbnb not retained,
Right.
and they're gonna get that money.
Mhm.
But at the end, they are not paying taxes. They don't have an accountant that they need. You need an accountant.
Please.
So yes, and because they don't have that, in some point the IRS in Mexico, hey, what's going on? You owe me money, and could be the percentage higher and a fine.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Whoa. So.
And maybe they could freeze their accounts if they have ones in Mexico, no?
Yeah, it depends of the case and on the amounts, but yeah, it could be.
Okay. So it comes a lot of benefits, but also responsibilities with it,
Yeah.
no?
Like a
Correct.
Spider-Man.
That's why you have to hire an accountant.
Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But one question: when the Airbnb retains the tax amount, do they issue like the proof of
Yeah.
retainment? Because
Air-
how are they going to show to the government that they already paid?
They have some
Forms.
paperwork forms that you can show that, but Airbnb and the government in Mexico has been working in trying to perform it better that things, no? Because yes, it's difficult to know exactly how much, or if how do you prove that the Airbnb paid this retention to the government? Is right now in the
Gray area.
working in
There is a question that just came to my mind. Okay, they already retain the taxes. You say, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna do anything. If they don't pay, who is responsible for that? You? Because
You're generating the income.
yeah, but the one that has the obligation because they already retain and have to make the payment is Airbnb.
Yes.
So if the SAT or the IRS Mexico go against someone, it's gonna be to Airbnb or to,
Airbnb, yeah.
okay.
Yes. Yeah, he must. But again, if you have an audit, no, for
Mhm.
example, and you need to prove to the government you already paid some taxes, no?
Okay.
And Airbnb pays some taxes regarding your property. So the way that you can prove that is just his web. Right now, his web, you need to load down some forms in Airbnb, but has no official payment that Airbnb can give you to you. Yeah, I already paid and this is your official
Receipt.
receipt.
A screenshot is valid. What I mean is when you make the payment and they're going to pay you about the Airbnb, you have, hey, okay, this is the amount that you're going to receive and this is the retain of the tax and everything. And a screenshot from that,
Yeah.
it's going to work with the IRS, with the SAT?
Hard to say, no?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So, I mean, generally speaking, if you are making a high income and you are paying a lot of taxes, maybe it will be a good idea to set up a Mexican corporation so you can make sure of that you are actually paying your taxes and the IRS won't have any kind of complaint,
Right. Yeah.
and that you can make some of your expenses deductible, no?
Yeah.
But that is a solution viable even if you already have the property, let's say, in a fideicomiso. Like you create your own corporation to administrate that and you sign a contract with your own company. and they like retain the taxes, and maybe that way you have more control of what actually are being retained and paid to the government. I mean, that's like a patch solution.
No, I don't think it's a patch. It's something that Stephanie always said, and the thing that you just said, Stephanie is always looking for that to get first the trust or the fideicomiso, and then a corporation to make the rents. So that's good. And the liabilities.
I mean, depends on the volume, right? If you just one
but
house,
you can avoid a lot of headache because, as we already said, hey, after three properties, it's better the corporation. But we can say, hey, get a trust, then with all the properties, it's gonna be directly to you that properties, and the operation of that properties could be through a company.
Exactly.
And the liability is gonna be lower. I think could be better.
Yeah.
For all.
Generally, yes. Yes. Obviously, I think personally that you have to wait at least 1 year to see if the property it's actually making money. Right. Or what is happening really. And after that 1 year, you make numbers and see how much you will be saving regarding taxes and how much you will be expending in accountant fees and all the expenses that come along with a Mexican corporation.
Yeah, but the accountant fees are deductible. So that's good. So that's something that you don't have to worry because, oh my God, you have to believe that the accounting in Mexico has to be cheap. It's not about cheap or expensive. It's about to do the right work. And that's the reason we work a lot with Manuel, because he's a really good accountant with a lot of experience. And he has a really good quality to have the numbers right and help you all the time with the taxes. I'm not saying that, hey, you're not going to pay, but he's very strict with that and he's really good doing his work. So from my point of view, it's not really nice. No, not about nice. It's about that you have to look for the quality and the cost has to be equal, has to make sense.
Cost benefit.
Exactly, cost benefit. Yeah. So the idea of the service of accounting in Mexico has to be cheap. I think is not the right one. Also, not has to be really expensive. It's just the fair price, Right. You have to look for that and worry about an accountant that's gonna charge 400 pesos per month. It's 500 pesos. You have to be aware of that and worry a little bit. What else?
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, just to make a point, is that yes, it's very important in order to get the best solution for each business is planning the all the business. Not try to make some numbers before do anything. I know it's difficult sometimes. No, here the clients comes as, hey, I want that apartment or that house, and just thinking and just buy it. No, the
what else?
So yeah, it's try to be more careful in planning your investment here in Mexico.
I think this episode has to continue, and if you want to come again, please.
Doors are open.
I think it was really good with a lot of information. We run out of time, but I think if you agree to come again in one of these days, will be amazing. Thank you so much for coming. Do you have any comments to end the episode?
Well, basically, one of the things that I learned from Manuel is to ask every client what is their plan in the next 5 years, because that'll help them visualize what they want and make the best decision, which is by planning, like he said. So that's awesome. A very good word of advice. Take it from him.
So that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.